All right, all right. We are live. We are live. We are live. Hey, everybody, it's JJ Conway. I'm excited to be with you today. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the power of vision. If we have enough time, we're also going to talk about persistence. If we don't have enough time, I'll record it for the next podcast. But before I do that, I want to talk to you, parents. I want to warn you about something you need to know about letting your kids watch Amazon Prime. Whoa! Well, hello, Ultra Nene. How are you doing today?
I am doing good.
You are? Tell me about it.
Well, I'm doing good because I'm Ultra Nene. I'm always doing good.
You're always doing good?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything for us today?
I do have a little football card. It's a fire one. And it says 18. Game on, and you're ready to shine. That, to me, must mean that the game plays and you're ready to get out there and make the play.
All right. All right.
Peace.
Wait, before you go, what makes you ready to make the play?
Practice.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ultra Nene. Now, look, y'all, encourage my little one. I want to encourage him in this journey because he has such a magnetism in performing, and he's great on camera. He's really great in person once he gets over his stage fright. So just drop him some encouragement in the chat. If y'all want to send him a little something on his Cash App. Oh, he doesn't have one yet. I guess I better make him one.
Hey.
What? Okay. Anyway, I want to warn parents about something we discovered about Amazon Prime. It is not quite a scam, but I tell you what, where's my flag? Oh, I thought I had my flag ready. Do you see my yellow flag over there? Here it is.
Hey, that's my sock.
That's my flag.
It's my sock.
Can you lay down and go to sleep?
It's my sock.
I'm on a live broadcast. Can you lay down?
Sock.
Not anymore. It's not.
Yes, it is.
It's been my flag for 2 years that your foot couldn't fit in it.
What? One question.
That's enough.
I just have one question.
Hurry it up. I'm on a live broadcast.
When's the last time you've actually used it?
About 2 months ago. I'm about to use it today. I'm throwing a flag on Amazon.
You threw it at the...
Stop.
You should have thrown that at me.
I'm going to throw it at you. No, I'm not going to throw it, but I am throwing the flag on Amazon because Amazon Prime has done something that's absolutely brilliant for them to make money, but it's tearing away at your pocketbook. What am I talking about? I am talking about the embedded ads they have in their children's programming. Okay, so my son started watching Mr. Beast games, and I'm not sure how I feel about Mr. Beast. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not sure how I feel about Mr. Beast, but let me tell you what I don't like. I don't like the fact that in the midst of Prime Video that I already pay Prime for, so I don't understand why I have ads in the first place. Can we just all agree that if I have to pay for your service, I really shouldn't have to also have ads? Not happy with that at all. Okay, especially since okay, this is not gonna be a Prime rant, but I'm just gonna throw this one in there. Especially since Prime, now you order something on Prime and it still takes 3 weeks. It's not like some things are tomorrow, but some things they call themselves Prime. No. It's only Prime once it gets in country. Anyway, that's not what I'm worried about as far as this. Not a scam, but still feels like a scam from Amazon Prime. Okay. And that is that when you're watching the commercials, my son was watching the commercials, he clicked something, it added whatever was in the commercial into my Amazon cart. So if you have children, now I know we should not be allowing our children to watch TV, watch the internet, watch any of these things unsupervised. But you and I both know, because we are busy parents, that every once in a while, letting the child be babysat by the, but I can see now why the church calls it the one-eyed devil. But sometimes you just have to pop something in and get some stuff done. And if you get an hour done, then it's worth the transition of him having some time, right? Okay. That's a personal judgment. I'm not gonna throw no shade at you if you let your children watch more than that. And I'm also not gonna throw no shade at you if you are like I was for the first 2 weeks I was a parent. Like, I'm never gonna be that parent. Maybe you aren't, but I am. Okay. So he clicked something because it was in the ad. It added it to the cart. And I was like, what did you do? He said, you asked me how much time was left in the show, and I was just trying to pause it and see how much time is left in the show. Y'all, whatever they got going, I'm sure it makes them a lot of money. So here's a couple of things that you as parents need to do, okay? First of all, you really do need to supervise what your children are watching, and don't just start a show and think, oh, 1 or 2 episodes is good, I'm gonna walk away, because episodes have a way of getting the parent buy-in with the first couple of episodes of children's programming, but then it gets darker and more demonic and more who knows what fill in the blank that you may not want your children taking in as that lesson or as that series progresses. I had one series of something that I watched with my oldest one when he was younger, and he was into this particular toy. Y'all, it was like 22 half-hour episodes of, okay, obviously sales for the toy, but it wasn't bad. But then after about episode 23 and 24, it got tremendously demonic. And if there's anything that JJ Conway don't play in her house, I don't do occult and I don't do demonic. All right. Now I have a lot of liberty within my projection of holiness and living as a pastor, and have my kids have a good life while still being supportive of mom's ministry. Right. But one thing I don't mess with demonic, and I don't mess with occult. Okay. Not in my house. Your house, that's up to you. But I got a past with that stuff. So we don't mess with any of that. We don't allow those roads into my house. Okay. So while it's not a penalty, I'm not going to set Amazon back. I'm not going to discontinue my subscription, but you need to watch out for that. You need to make sure that you're monitoring what your kids watch. You need to make sure that if you have kids like mine that don't realize what they're doing, that you need to restrict their ability to click on things. And if you, like me, if you think that you're going to leave them the remote, which I do because I don't like to listen to ads, and my rule is if we can't fast forward the ads, you'll at least mute it so it's not getting more into your head through verbals. If you're going to do that, make sure you don't have your credit card attached automatically to make purchases. There are parents out there, I meant to get it before this class, but I ran out of time. There are parents out there that have had thousands of dollars of their children ordering something. And I used to think to myself, how could that happen? Don't you supervise? Don't you have safeguards? Well, yeah, but we didn't know about that. Look, a lot of us know when you give your child the phone, make sure your Google is not logged in. Make sure your iPhone account is set to require purchase a verification, because otherwise they will download everything and buy everything in the game, right? We all know that, but this is something new that you need to watch out for, and watching out for will protect you and your wallet. All right. So now let's go ahead and get into our lesson today. I'm going to talk to you about power principle number 3. All right. I'm talking about power principles. So maybe I need to just kind of calm it down just a little bit. Let me just check. I check the chat. Hey, y'all. How are you doing? It's so good to see y'all out today. So good to see people out today. It's, I really love having, oh, wow, I've got some hate out there. We're not going to show the hate, but we're going to show the much love. All right. So anyway, it's really good to have people on today, and we're really looking forward to having our discussion about power principles. So today, what I want to talk to you about is power principle number 3 in our power principles series. This is the role of vision in living a successful and rewarding life. It is without a doubt one of the fundamental lessons within any learning model of achievement. And like the other power principles, this lesson has had a major impact on my life and in every area of my life. Now, when I first started to become aware of creating a vision, you've got to understand where I was in my life at that time. I was 35 years old. I had just gotten divorced and become everything that I worked so hard not to become. A single Black mom in more debt than I ever thought I could get out of. I was realizing I wasn't military enough to get further in my military career. And at this point, while I had a dream of getting rich, I had no picture or vision of what that really looked like in my life, because every time I turned around, things got worse and worse. And I think that's the big difference between wishing or dreaming and having a vision. And as I began to understand this idea, this power principle, I realized I didn't just want financial prosperity. I wanted meaningful relationships. I wanted a healthy lifestyle. I wanted to have a connection with God that was missing in my life for a number of years. I mean, I loved the Lord. I went to church. I did the things. I still believed in Jesus as my Lord and Savior. But I lost that connection, that depth of connection, because I was so busy looking at how am I going to get out of all of this and the trauma and the resulting afterfall. And some of you've been there. You make one decision that you think is best for you, and it's like a whole house of cards just tumbles down, and you lose friends, and you lose this, and you lose that. And then you turn around, you don't even trust yourself anymore. And all I could see was everything tumbling down. But at some point, your vision for your life has to go much deeper than any current situation or quick fix to get out of it. And my vision for my life, it did go deeper than any get-rich-quick scheme that appeared in front of me. A vision is something that really emerges from our soul. A vision starts to take form and shape when you begin to see a life beyond your current conditions and circumstances, and when you begin to identify your talents and resources that are hiding just below your consciousness. When you have vision, you begin to act with an informed or knowledgeable purpose. And the vision provides the highest guiding light for your emerging future. And once I started to find ways to bring order to my thinking, order to my decision making, I began to become aware of not only what some of my goals were, but I became crystal clear on who I was and what I was here to do. My purpose, my God-given inherent right and purpose. I've heard my mentor, John Maxwell, say that the two most important days of our lives are the day that we were born and the day we find out why. One of our country's most compelling examples of vision was expressed in President Kennedy's charge to NASA that the United States get to the moon by the end of the 1960s decade. During a speech in 1961 to Congress, he said that nothing will be more impressive to mankind and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish. And he went on to say that we aspire to do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. His vision for the nation, it was specific and it was clear. It was delivered with passion and the faith that comes with vision. It wasn't a pipe dream or a wish where people didn't really expect the plan to be fully acted out. See, instead, it was already envisioned and embraced by NASA's employees, from its top level administrators all the way down to its janitorial staff. They understood the vision. They understood their responsibility in achieving the vision. And even though they had no idea of how, they were gonna do it. And I think that's where many of us get bogged down, isn't it? I know for me in my own life, I tend to be a little bit left-brained, and I often get caught up in how am I going to do that? In fact, we are naturally taught to consider the how first. We allow these voices from our past, right? Our teachers, our parents, employers, friends, other people, to temper our aspirations with their self-doubt, with their skepticism, with their cynicism, and maybe even with their negative self-judgment. We become conditioned not to get our hopes up, but to self-censor our visions before they ever even rise fully into our conscious awareness. True vision has been written about for thousands of years. even in ancient times. And we can go back to the Bible in Proverbs 29. Great chapter, and among the many nuggets is verse 18, where there is no vision, the people perish. And as a kid, I might have wondered when I read that, did it mean that people literally would physically die? Well, now I've come to understand that it's even worse. They don't die. They live with the lack of awareness of their true God-given potential. Another mentor, Les Brown, he made this observation. He said that some people die at 25 and don't get buried till they're 65. Ooh, y'all. What he means is that without vision, people genuinely have no future. Without vision, they're just cast upon the junk heap of life. So without vision, they become a liability to society rather than an asset to those around them. And without vision, their mentality is more about existing than truly living. And that, in a way, is perishing. And the verse assumes that there's a vision to be revealed in all of us, right? And one has to have a purpose and promise. That vision of a revelation from God, it helps a person walk a certain path. And I hesitate to, how do I want to say it? I don't think we can be so foolish for those who share like faith with me. I don't think we can be so foolish as to dictate what God's will and isn't, or to say that we have the complete handle on everything that is or isn't God's will. But I do believe that when the Lord drops something into our heart, we have to be careful not to dismiss it because of the years of self-preservation, the years of risk aversion, the years of play it safe, don't rock the boat that was poured upon us, not only us as we are and the people around us who poured that into us, but there's a quote out there that says, from birth, we are tattooed with the scars of our tribe. And so everything that our parents learned and everything that their parents learned in a world that really lacks a lot of vision and doesn't reward excellence unless you get to the point of excellence, that tends to be crabs in a bucket and pull down people that are trying to lift up and excel and rebuild their communities. It's too easy for us to let that vision be squelched and never even give it a chance to breathe, to grow legs, to grow leaves and roots and do all the things to bear fruit. I used to be in the military, some of you know that, and we developed a missile that was designed after the human mind, right? It tracks its target in whatever direction it moves. And when the target vanishes, though, from the missile's vision, the missile self-destructs. Now, this was a vision that was designed after the human mind. And for you and I, without a vision in our lives, we easily wander off course and we face the same fate. We self-destruct. Vision is a useful and powerful tool in the learning model of success to guide and direct us towards living a meaningful life. And vision allows us to connect with our purpose and become very clear of our goals. And I've coached and mentored people all over the nation and a few countries in the world. And I've learned that identifying one's purpose at first can really seem daunting. But don't worry, your vision will help you identify it. Your vision is the way to attain the unattainable. It's our ability to reach God's consciousness and his ultimate presence that exists above and beyond our awareness, our conditions, and our circumstances. And you'll hear me say it many times during these lessons. Your current circumstances, my current circumstances, will never be able to predict what you and I are capable of doing in our lives. And I know I'm probably the pot calling the kettle black on this because the Lord is pushing me in a direction and I'm dragging my feet because of my current circumstances and conditions. And I have to remind myself of these lessons over and over again that to achieve the greatness that is in me, I have to let go of the inadequacies that I feel are in me. Ooh, y'all, I don't know if I can say that again, so I hope you wrote that down. The formulation, articulation, and application of vision is truly an exercise of the law of cause and effect. The internal vision that we become aware of, that we co-create in our life, that's the cause. And the external expression of that vision, which we define as the results, that's the effect. So the results in our life will always be an expression of what we truly believe is possible in our lives. Oh, no, JJ, that can't be true. Well, it's going on the results of my life. That's not what I believe in. The results that are going on in my life, that's not what I'm choosing for myself. You may not realize, just like I didn't realize, but our results are a direct impact of what we believe, because what we believe impacts how we show up, our energy, and how we act. I'm going to give you an example because I know some of you are going to be hung up on this. You're going to say, well, JJ, it's not my fault that this thing happened. Someone's house burnt down a couple years ago. It burnt down all the way to the ground. Nobody left a stove on. It was just one of those freak things that happened. Something shorted in the house, and while they were gone, it burnt down. Thankfully, they were all out of the house and nobody was hurt. And you say, well, is that an impact of their belief? Did they manifest their house burning down? No, they didn't manifest their house burning down. But a year later, that house was rebuilt. And it was rebuilt, and it was rebuilt better, and it was rebuilt. And they could have, instead of rebuilding, they could have just rolled over. They could have just tucked their tails between their legs and just gave up. And woe is me. But because of their belief, they pressed forward. See, we're not responsible for everything that happens in our lives, but we are responsible for how we address it, how we achieve it, how we respond to it. I forget the exact how the quote goes. I hope I don't butcher it because this is a really important point I want you to get. We may not be responsible for the things that happened, but we are responsible to adjust our lives so that we can achieve our dreams. And belief in our possibility, it begins with a fortified vision for our life. And when there's true vision and revelation of one's higher power, the voice of God in us, it has the power to motivate us and to inspire us, but only if we have an awareness of it and a reverence to conduct our lives in harmony with our highest good. And the trouble that a lot of people who name the name of the God I name, who walk in the same faith traditions that I walk in, one of the problems that they have with vision is that they put this blind trust in the human constructs surrounding our interpretation of God. And when those human constructs fail, though that isn't necessarily the Lord itself, when those human constructs fail, all of a sudden now their ability to trust in a higher power fails with it. Now, y'all know I have been reading a lot of this, of the Black Book of Power by Stan Taylor. I should have put that in here. I think I will. Let me just put that down here. All right, let me put that down here in the chat for you all. At first, I was a little hesitant because I was like, what you talking about, Willis?
Mom, it's 2026.
It's stantaylor.com-JJC. But one of the things that he does in the book is he opens up your eyes to the construct of different paradigms, the thoughts that are installed upon us to make money out of us, the paradigms of different aspects of religion and adherence to culture and organizational culture. And I mean, it's fascinating. And I especially I especially me and a really close friend, we've been working through the book, and I've been working through it with one of our autistic young adults just to open up eyes to what's really going on in the world around you. And so one of the things that he talks about quite disparagingly is the construct of religion. And the reason I'm addressing this, I know this is a secular podcast, but I am in the ministry, and a lot of people who watch me or listen to me are in the ministry, and they have a vision and a vision and a vision, and I'm going with God and I'm going with God, and I have a vision and I'm going with God, right? My purpose in life is to equip God's people. That's my purpose in life, and everything I do, every vision that I execute is aligned with that purpose, right? So I'm not saying I have an issue with God. I don't have an issue with religion. I don't have an issue with church. But what I am saying is I have an issue with people who do not base their relationship with religion on an actual relationship with God. Because when your relationship with religion is the rote mechanics of doing what you need to do, that's not the actual vision that God had for you. It's the vision that somebody else had for you. It's a vision to help build up their church, a vision to help build up their ministry, a vision to help them look good, a vision to help them look anointed. You have to get in touch with what is God saying is the vision for your life so that you can live your life in harmony with his highest good for you, not in harmony for what some preacher wants to utilize you for to achieve their goals, line their pockets, and fulfill their dreams. Ooh, y'all, I just said a word. All right. People who live and operate without vision have a propensity to engage in self-destructive behavior, procrastination, and negativity. They act out of blindness. They will not discipline. Ooh, we don't like that word. We don't like that word. They will not discipline themselves to take proper responsibility. And the result is that they perish. Quite a contrast to the satisfying result a person experiences when they are living in and from their vision. See, there can be no doubt of what a vision produces. And the beautiful thing about a vision is you don't have to go searching for it. It's already in you. And it's not so much about finding the vision. It's not so much about going on this search for yourself as it is about discovering the vision that has been inside you all along. And its finer points will, of course, change and evolve over time. But if allowed, its foundation will bring order, focus, and cohesiveness to all aspects of your life. And here's how. Vision is the conscious awareness of our desires and possibilities blended with the gift of imagination. Imagination is a gift from the Lord, and I wish more of God's people would not cast that aside in their quest to be more godly, or to be more righteous, or to be more holy. Vision is our ability to create our future with passion today. But vision is not just a destination. It's also a powerful tool that allows us to engage all of our senses, our resources, our emotions into this realization. So vision not only yields a mental picture of our future result, but also, and this is important, also a mental construction of the sights, the sounds, the feeling, the emotions, the vibrations, the energy, the frequencies. It sets up the vibration or frequency of the expectation for success as the mind works through the problems. And I know it's going to sound a little woo-woo to some of you, but hang with me, okay? Y'all know I was a scientist in the Air Force for 23 years. The mind, as it works through the problems, the positive vibrations and frequencies that we tune into through our vision, they are imprinted in our subconscious and extended out to the universe. It literally changes your energy to walk according to your vision rather than walking according to what you see right here in front of you. Athletes use their vision to improve their performance. And we see this. The Olympics just finished. We see this. We saw this time and time and again. We'll see an Olympic skier, for example, will close their eyes and quite literally see the vision of the run down the mountains. She can see and feel her performance, the cuts, the leans, the wind blowing by. And as she begins to engage all the muscles as though she was actually making each turn on the runs, she sees the outcome. She feels the exhilaration of the wind. She experiences through imagination, and that experience through imagination is still experience in the mental construct. Ooh, y'all, if you get this, it's going to unlock so much in your life. So in the context of the power principles, this internal aspect of your vision is who you become. The external aspect of your vision is what you create and achieve. Your internal vision is the mental model of perfection that you co-create in your life, that we co-create with our Lord. This living into your full potential in your most productive and fulfilling venture. It's the image of the person you would be beyond your limiting self-beliefs, your fears, your doubts, your self-judgments. It is the true, powerful, compassionate, creative, caring, resource-filled, driven person that you are when you are completely present at your fullest potential. That's our internal vision. Your external vision is the expression and the manifestation of your internal vision. In essence, it's the results that you get in every area of your life. That includes the results that you've realized in your relationships, in your spiritual growth, in the health of your physical body, in what you create in terms of your financial and material wealth. This is the beauty of transformation. The vision brings transformation. The transformation brings results. The results encourage you to hold fast to the vision, and the vision encourages more transformation. And the more you transform, the more you have the results. The path of vision in the power principles allows you to transform internally and thereby alter your external results, creating the change that you desire in your life. You know, if you're like most people, thinking about and visualizing the external, right? Our goals and our dreams, it may be more attractive at first, but soon you're going to realize that the real benefit of holding and living from your vision is actually internal. It's about who you become. And if your vision is purely external, in other words, if you're only focused on outward achievement, you're only focused on the physical results, if you're only focused on the money in hand, if you're only focused on getting those letters behind your name, you will never grow to be the person that can create and manifest these things internally in your life. We want to be very attentive, very vigilant of our inner world. And our vision allows you to be who you want to be. It allows you to become in your thoughts, in your character, in your beliefs, in your awareness, and in your actions. So never lose sight of the true limitless core, okay? Never lose sight of the fact that you are tapped into when I pray, I am tapped into the ultimate power source. And because I'm tapped into the ultimate power source, I don't have to worry about making a mistake here or there. If I do make a mistake, it's part of my journey. Now, in my mentoring and coaching program, one of the exercises that I share with my students is to really crystallize their internal vision by writing out a vision statement. And I would encourage you to do the same. Okay? And I will share with you right now, right here, some of the things that you might want to consider as you write out your statement. So while I'm saying some of these things, I want you to grab a little paper and so you can write down a few thoughts, okay? Now as you're getting that paper, before I do this, let me say that this is so critical. I remember when I first started to go and study personal development. And after being in business for a little while, I joined the John Maxwell team to take things to the next level, right? And I remember prior to joining what they call mentorship, which is like an extra add-on, you get your certification, business in a box, but then mentorship shows you how to really implement it. Before that, I had read a lot of books on goal achieving, y'all. And let me tell you, I thought I knew it all. And I remember someone gave me a quote. Eric Hoffer said, in order for us to learn anything, it requires 2 degrees of confidence. First, if we have too little confidence, we think we can't learn. And second, if we have too much confidence, we think we don't have to. Ooh. Well, I had fallen into the category where I thought I knew it all about goal setting. Y'all, I mean, I was an accomplished military scientist, right? I had stood up communities of interest and I wrote reports that went to the president. And I can remember one of our mentors, as he was coaching a group of us, repeating over and over, you have to have a goal. You have to have a goal. You have to have a goal. And I'm getting irritated, right? Like, I'm like, yeah, I know all that. I know all that. But how do I get the money? I got to go. I got to get the money. You know, I had started out with $800-something thousand of debt, and I was already out of about 300,000 of it. I got $500,000 more to go. That's my goal. See, the truth is that what I really knew about goal setting, I could probably have written on the back of a postage stamp, and there would still have been plenty of space left over because I had never sat to write out the goal. I had never done what it was that I claimed I knew. I thought I knew it, but I didn't do it. And I think some of us are in that boat today. So as I share this exercise, don't let the simplicity of what I'm sharing with you derail you from actually doing the exercise. Okay? This is the exercise. This is the process of really living into and from this power principle of vision. Number 1, you want to write out your vision in present tense as though it's already been completed. So, for example, if we're writing, one day I will have the house of my dreams, we don't want to write it like that. We want to write it like, right now I'm living in the house of my dreams. Okay. And we're going to change that from what I will have to what I am now in. And I like the way that, oh dear, what was his name? He recently passed away. One of the great speakers and coach trainers out there talked about different types of goals. You know, your A-type goal, something's very easy to do. Your B-type goal, you may be able to do it if you just get this person or you just go get that thing. You know, I can change this, but I need to go to the tool store and get a tool. But the C-type goals are very much out of our reach, and they require a huge leap of faith and vision to achieve them. And so in the C-type goal, we start off by writing, I am thankful and grateful now that I am. Now that I am. And we write it out as if it is present tense, that I am living in the house of my dreams. So that's the first principle, be present tense. Secondly, we want to be very specific. After all, if you're the architect of your dream and your future, what does that house look like? What does it literally look like? How large is it? Where is it located? How many bedrooms does it have? Okay. I remember the story that someone told in one of the conferences that I went to, and they said that they had bought a house, and then as they were unpacking things from maybe 2 or 3 houses back, they had downsized and they had gone abroad. And so all their stuff was in storage. They came back home and bought this house. They're unpacking for this beautiful house, and they're unpacking mementos and buying new fabulous furniture for it. The guy unfolds one of the mementos in his box, and it is a vision board from like 10 years prior, maybe 15. A vision board. And on that vision board was a magazine cutout of that specific house. I had another mentor who told us about buying his condo in Florida, how when he walked in, he told the agent, write it up, we're getting this one. And the agent said, well, don't you want to see the rest of the house? And he said, no, I have seen this house in my mind a million times. I have walked through, I have visioned every cabinet, every bedroom. He had in his mind, he had scoped it out so much that he knew exactly what he wanted. And when he walked in, there it was ahead of him. And that to me is just the epitome of why we do this stuff. Okay. Let's see. Who's that? Oh, is that who said that? Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to share just a little tidbit of you with mine. When I first did mine, I was like, well, I want to have a house where I can look at the beach, and I want to have a house where in my study, I can look out and see the beach, and I can have a sunrise and a beautiful sunset. And I thought, there's only so many places in the world you can live where you can position your house to have water on both sides. And there's only so many places in our country, very few places in our country, and very few ways that you can situate your house in a study to have both the sun in the morning and the sun at night, because the sun goes the way it goes over the earth. And the thought of me thinking through exactly what I wanted for the house, exactly what I wanted for my business, exactly how I wanted my health and strength, exactly how I wanted to have have my assistant come in and bring my fresh pressed juice in the morning, and exactly how I wanted to go into writing and go into doing my podcast. It helped me to let it not be some nebulous pie in the sky, but actually think through the details. Okay, if I want this is what I have to have. Or do I really want that? And do I want this? And how I want that to be laid out, and where and then it became real. And what you're doing when you write out the vision is you're making the vision plain. You're making the vision real. Now, I hope as I explained all that to you, you got a little taste of number 3 in my descriptions, okay? You got a little taste of number 3 in my descriptions. First, I want to say a little hi to some of the folks out there. Hey there. So good to see you. It's so good to see you. There's the man right there. I tell you what, he's got a plan, and he's working the plan. He's working the vision, and he's bringing it to pass, and he's bringing others behind him. Woo! All right. I hope you got a sense that when you're writing out this vision, you want to become emotionally involved. I know in business, we're especially as a podcaster, I keep getting feedback. Hey, you got to cut the emotion out. You got to calm it down. I'm like, I don't got to do nothing. I'm going to do what the Lord called me to do. And maybe you make more money doing it your way, but I make the right money that I need helping the people that I'm called to help doing it my way. Now, I did try, y'all. If you did not see my thing on voting today, let me just take it aside from the lesson. If y'all did not see my thing on voting today, I want you to go back and listen to it, because in many jurisdictions, this is a week for early voting in the primaries, and you may not have realized that you could vote in the primaries, okay? I'm not bringing that up to talk to you about voting. I'm bringing it up because when I did that today, we were trying out a new mic and a new camera and a new situation, and when I played it back and I heard the difference between what I'm doing right now and what we had, I said, oh, this is like when I had that really good mic before it got destroyed. I used to have, so I don't know if y'all, for those of you who've been with me a long time, I had a period of time where I was recording podcasts in my car at lunchtime. Then we got a little better. Then we got super swanky with the nice equipment. It sounded really good and professional. Y'all, I was getting invited to be on all these podcast things. I was teaching people how to do it. Oh, it was great. It was great. And then all that stuff got destroyed, and some of it got lost as I moved out here to Texas. And we've just been having to rebuild. Well, I finally found out that some of that equipment that we didn't lose still works. It's just my computer. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, I'm bringing that up because you have to be emotionally involved in the vision that you created. Okay, it's not over there. It's real and passionate, because if you don't get emotionally involved, oh, who knows what I'm about to say? Drop it in the chat if you know what I'm about to say. I know some of y'all teach this stuff, and I'm honored that you hang with me every Thursday night. If you don't get emotionally involved in the vision, then that vision won't help you overcome the negative emotion of everything that's been dumped on you all your life. It won't help you overcome it, because we try to overcome these things with logic and with intellect and with our conscious brain and our willpower. Our willpower runs out so soon. And our conscious brain, it's not even the bulk of the brain power that we use. And the negativity in your life is lodged deep down in your subconscious, and you can't willpower your way out of it, but you can emotion your way out of it. And just like that Olympic skier that we talked about visualizes herself going down the mountain and feeling the wind and feeling the exhilaration of winning and feeling the excitement and doing all the things, just like that emotion gets in the brain and it becomes a form of practice that actually translates out on the course. Your vision comes in and it erases the negative voices of you're not good enough, you're never good enough, who do you think you are, don't rock the boat. But when you get emotionally caught up in the vision, that emotion starts to quiet the other emotion. So if you've been working for a long time and you've been setting goals and you've been taking them out, kicking butt and taking names, you've been doing the thing, right? And you still don't feel any change inside. Now you know why. Now you know why. So let me ask you, think about this vision. This isn't just your my mission is to equip God's people, and the vision is a nation of people who want to be. No. That's not the vision I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about the vision for your life. What do you want to feel? What kind of home do you want to live in? When you walk into your home, visualize it. Close your eyes with me and visualize it. When you walk into your home, what does it feel like? How does it feel to live the lifestyle of that home? What would your emotional state be? Defining your emotional state allows you to create the energy of expectation, the vibration of expectation that I talked about earlier. And that energy of expectation helps you overcome the negativity that rises up and tries to smack us in the face and shut us down. I'm not talking about blind hope here. I'm talking about be very clear about what it is you want. Okay. So number one, we're writing it in present tense. Okay. We're writing it in present tense. We're making sure that we are writing what is right now. Number two, we're being very, very specific. Number three, we're getting caught up in the emotion of it. We're not just writing, I want a nice house. We're writing, I want a house that when I come home, I have peace. I have a study that breeds creativity. I have a home gym that allows me to feel motivated to take care of this body temple in the best way I can within the confines of my injuries and health conditions and whatever it is that causes you to get emotionally involved. Before I move to number 4, I got to say one more thing on that. Some of us, especially my military ladies out there, we have spent so much time trying to be firm and logical and strong that we don't even understand how to get in touch with the emotion. And that's why all the things that we accomplished, and I know I'm not the only one, y'all. I'm not the only one who was in the military, did the thing, got the rank, made the waves, changed things from people who come after me. And yet when I took off the uniform, still didn't feel the self-worth I should have felt. A lot of veterans out there have the same problem. Why? Because we got caught up in the identity of a cloak put upon us. We did not become the person we needed to become to walk in the vision for our ultimate life. Yeah, I'm breaking some bonds today. All right, so that was 1, 2, and 3. Number 4, we want to take some time to identify the people that we want in our life. Who is with you on this journey? You know, if you're living into that which is trying to emerge from your soul, if you're trying to live into the life that the Lord wants for you, who would be the people in your life? And this one can be a little difficult, because sometimes the people that are supposed to be in our life in that realm, in that era, in that age, in that vision, they're not the people we are so tightly holding on to. They're not the people that we are desperately trying to make understand. They're not the people that we are just almost throwing ourselves at their feet for droplets of attention and affection. And I'll never forget when I was praying about up-leveling my life, and I was praying about a vision that the Lord was giving me. Because sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, well, first of all, I 2/3 of my life is over. I'm on the downward glide, y'all. So sometimes when the Lord gives me something, I'm like, really? Me? I don't know about all that, but I'm gonna trust the Lord, because that sure would be nice, It sure would be nice to be a part of His plan at the level I think He's calling me to be. And when I was praying about this particular thing, I felt like the Lord was telling me so much of the stress and the negativity in my life was coming from a particular individual. But yet I felt such a strong sense of obligation. I couldn't let that person go. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I don't saying leave your spouse. Okay, because I go to these conferences. I better cut this out of the main recording when we publish this. But I may not, because it may be helpful for some of y'all. I go to these conferences and they talk about being on the beach with the love of their life, and the love of their life is never the wife or the husband they currently have. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to co-sign with this whole kick your spouse to the curb because you're trying to live a higher level. Okay, so don't hear what I'm not saying. Okay, but this particular person in my life had been a source of negativity for years, decades. This particular person in my life never had anything uplifting to say. This particular person in my life, I felt a sense of obligation to. If they had been any stranger on the street, I wouldn't have allowed them into my inner circle. And maybe today you're being held back by people who are in your inner circle that need to be out on ring 5 of your levels of friendship. They need to be out on your acquaintance level. They need to be out on your colleague level. They don't need to be in your inner circle anymore. And I was praying about this because I am the kind of person that I don't ever want it to be said that I forgot where I came from. I don't ever want it to be said that I kicked people to the curb to climb on their backs to get where I am. I may be critical. I may be tough. I may, in my quest for excellence, hurt some people's feelings. But one thing I've never tried to do is climb on the backs of somebody else. I've never tried to tear anybody else down personally or professionally. I've always tried to do the right thing. Okay. And so this person was just heavy on my heart. And I asked for leading and guidance. And the next day, something blew up. And that person, I didn't even have anything to do with them on it. I was commenting or doing something on somebody else's page. That person blocked me. Not just unfollowed me, not just friended me, but blocked me. And I said, well, that confirms the prayer. The answer that I got in prayer was to leave them alone and let them go. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Well, the Lord knew how to do that. And that person left my life. And it was such a relief. The 6 months in between when they blocked me and left my life, and then they tried to come back, was some of the most stress-free, some of the most calm, and some of the most productive time I ever had, until I learned that when people are not aligned with my belief and they only bring negativity to the table, that I have to preserve my inner space and my inner peace. Okay, so that is our number 4. We're looking at who are the people in your life. And if you don't know anybody personally, like when I first started on this journey, I didn't have people that I could celebrate my professional wins with. I didn't have people that I could talk about, this level of accomplishment. I didn't have that in my life. I got that in my life through putting myself in places where the kind of people I wanted to be were, making myself of value to them so they could take me under their wing, and connecting with other people who are also on that journey. And I've been able over the years to curate for myself a small space of people that I can say, hey, this happened, and they will cheer me on. In the past, it was, yay, this happened. Who do you think you are? So if you don't have that space in your life right now, I'm going to encourage you to join my community, my Ladies of Wealth. We help hardworking women and a few good men dump debt, build wealth, and prosper. My Facebook group, Ladies of Wealth, or just to connect with me and join in our group coaching. We will celebrate your wins and we will help set you up for the next win. And it will make the difference in your life. All right. Number 5. What? If I haven't made you mad already, I'm about to make you mad now. Number 5. What beliefs and values would you be holding and living from if you were fully present in this vision? Chances are some of the things that you believe now will have to change in order for this vision to be realized in your life. Some of the things that you value now may become less important, and you will develop a new set of values. Other values may become more solidified. What does this new set of beliefs and values look like? This is so important to your journey because one of the things I've found as a person of faith is that many people of faith lose their faith as they progress along their journey to financial freedom. Many people, I've watched the progression. They start off walking with the Lord and doing the Lord's work and doing great things in the communities, and they raise higher and higher. And then the next thing you know, they start introducing this into their life and introducing that into their life. And you fast forward 10, 15 years, they are an entirely different person. And yes, we should be different people 10, 15 years from now. But our foundational values and faith, if those things are important to you, and if you've done the soul searching to make sure that you know what you believe and why you believe it, those foundational values shouldn't change. Now, some values need to change. I'm going to give you this example. Someone that I've often admired. I couldn't even believe that this revelation came to me because I think I kind of put this person on a pedestal. She was amazing. She taught me so much of what I know. And even though I could never get her to do the things that I thought were going to make us both a lot of money, I was like, well, she's not going to do it. I'm going to do it. She would have been better at it. We'd have probably made more money with her at the helm instead of me. But you know what? I'm going to still roll on because when the idea comes to me, I have learned to move out on it. Okay. And so this person is somebody that I just really valued. But the last interaction we had, we were doing something, we were planning for some event, and this person is an international business multimillionaire, and we went to the dollar store. Now, y'all know I love my Dollar Tree. It's a $1.25 tree right now. Well, actually, have they raised the price again? I heard they were raising the price again. But y'all know I love my Dollar Tree, okay? But I don't Dollar Tree everything anymore. And I found it interesting as I spent the day with this person, hoping to, rekindle some relationship with them and just kind of learn some more droplets of wisdom from them. I noticed something. I noticed that we both had come from humble beginnings. This is one of the things that I admired about her. But she had never been able to let go of the energy of being poor. She had never been able to let go of those times when she had to scrimp and save. Even though she had so much more money now than she knew what to do with. They had enough money. She has enough money to just go buy a property if she wants to in cash. But when it came to the decor, and when it came to this and it came to that, we spent hours trying to save a few pennies. And I thought to myself, this is the energy that's holding her back. And when that thought came to me, I froze. How on earth could I think that about this person? And as I went about, the Spirit led me to observe, as we went about the day, I began to see that the energy of clawing your way up to the top, the energy of always having to make it do, make it, use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without, the energy of having to do that instead of choosing to do that, still overtoned every decision she made. It made it hard for her to delegate and to let go. And as I began to consider, I thought, I have a trouble delegating. I have trouble letting go. I have trouble signing up for the solution that's right in front of my face that I thought about, prayed about, analyzed, and said, I need this in my life. And here it is offered to me on a silver platter. And I'm like, I don't know about that price point. Y'all, some things we need to let go. Now, I'm not saying let go of your faith. I'm not saying let go of your foundational values. In fact, I really want you to hold tight to those things. But we got to let go of some things so that we can go up. We got to give up to go up. All right. Think of this as you write out what the values, the beliefs and values that you want to have. Think of it as like a journal entry about your actions, and note your feelings, the sights and sounds that surround you. Okay. And this exercise can help you further define and clarify your purpose as well. And it can help you clarify your goals because it creates that emotional impact and attachment and positive vibration regarding your vision. Now, I'm going to give you another example because I feel like that was a little bit too high level. Okay. I'm going to give you an example, and I'm sure I haven't asked him, but I'm pretty sure it's okay with my husband to share this with you. Okay. We have different upbringings, me and my husband. My husband's family had money. I'm sure they wouldn't say they were wealthy. I would say they were wealthy, but I'm sure they would say that they were just an average middle-class American family, maybe upper middle class, but they had money. There was no hunger, They didn't come home and sneak food because they were hungry and the food was restricted. They didn't at lunchtime go dig in the trash can to find more food. And I know that my parents did the best they could. And I know that my parents probably didn't even realize that we were doing some of those things at school. They were doing the best they could with what little they had, and they didn't realize certain things here and certain things there. Because after a while, we realized we shouldn't complain. Complaining didn't change the situation. It just made people feel worse. And if there's anything that I learned is making your parents feel worse is not a way to get what you want. Especially when they're trying the best they can, right? And so for me, I never liked to throw away food. Don't like to throw away food. Don't like to throw away food. And I was always a member of the Clean Plate Club, as if cleaning my plate was going to really help starving children in Africa, right? But I was a member of the Clean Plate Club. And then when my children began to eat, both of them in their respective times, I couldn't throw away their food. I would finish it. And that put on weight that I didn't need to put on, and that introduced health issues that I didn't need to have, which I probably should have been feeding my kids that food anyway. But some of y'all parents know sometimes you just got to throw some fries and some chicken nuggets at the situation, right? But I just, even in my 40s, y'all, I did not want to throw away food. And for me, I really love the phrase, use it up, wear it out, make it do without, when it's your choice. I don't want you to feel bound by that. But I like to use up food. And so if I make a meal and we don't finish it off, we don't finish the leftovers the next day, I'm going to find a way to repurpose those leftovers and make them into another third meal. And I just don't like to throw away food. And at one point, I was getting frustrated with my family situation because my family did not agree with me on that. And at one point, my husband was like, why are you so wrapped around this? We have plenty of food. We have plenty of money. And, some of you are going to get mad at me for saying this. I'm sorry. You got to make your life the way you want it. Okay. My husband pays the bills. He takes care of our lifestyle. He takes care of our life, our day-to-day living. My business profit takes care of our future goals and things like buying the next car, the next house, things like that, the next trips. Okay. That's what we do. That's how we have it separated. So my income is not important to the household at all. Okay. At all. Praise the Lord. Glory. Hallelujah. So he's like, I'm the one who worked for the money to buy the food. Why are you so upset? And I was like, ooh, I'm doing just like that other person did. Maybe in different areas, because I won't spend 4 hours to save 4 cents. Okay. I used to when I was $800,000 in debt, but you know, my time is worth more than that now. But I still had some vestiges of lack attached to me, causing strife and causing division and causing argument that didn't need to be there. So I want you to really feed into your goals and create that emotional impact and attachment and watch what bubbles up. Watch what you uncover. It can be surprising. It can be surprising. You would be shocked at some of the things that you don't realize are still holding you back. But the more you refine your vision and the more you get into the emotion of it, the more these things begin to diminish in your mind. Ooh, yes. Just as the Olympic skier is able to mentally meet her goal of success before it becomes a physical reality, as she flies down that mountain, that vibration of expectation that you create will allow you to fashion the specific goals to make your vision a successful reality. And then you're making real progress towards your life's purpose. The vision that you create for yourself, and over the years, you'll have many, it must be clear that you bring it into your consciousness easily, just like Kennedy's vision of reaching the moon. The vision serves as the connector between your life's purpose and the goals that you will set out to realize it, okay? And as you continue, you're going to see how all of these power principles will provide an awareness of your resources, your strategies, tactics, and further strengthen your own vision, life's purpose, and resolve to achieve them. I'm asking you, okay, even if you're a little bit skeptical, remain open to this potential reality, okay? Our future that God has for us is so limitless compared to the limits that we as people put upon ourselves. We put these limits upon ourselves. We put these chains upon ourselves. I encourage you to join me for every fourth Thursday when we continue this series. Listen to the remaining principles from this open-minded state. Be very present. And if you're listening to me as part of the podcast, or if you're listening to me as part of the course that these lessons will become, still listen with an open mind, being present, and see if you'll sense that spark. If you'll feel the possibility of waking, and then you'll know that you have all the resources. You'll know that you have all the resources necessary to support you and your journey. I'm going to invite you before I go. I'm going to invite you, if you would like some help on this journey, to join me in one of my mentorship or coaching programs. You can take part in one of our step-by-step programs at buildingwealthtogether.com, or you can become part of a group of committed people that are willing to give you support, hold you accountable, help clarify your vision, and help support you as you work to achieve it. I am totally confident that if you will follow these steps, you will fulfill your vision. I want to thank you for listening or watching, whichever way you're consuming this class. This has been JJ Conway. We have been talking about power principle number 3, vision. I want to encourage you to nurture your vision. All right. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson today. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to connect with me at JJ Knows the Way. The only reason I know the way is because I know the one who is the way. And I hope that you will join me in walking with him today. Y'all take care and be blessed.